Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Cendrex CTA series adjustable general purpose access door. A great little access door, and I think once you're familiar with it, you're going to look for opportunities where you can use it. It is easy, it is simple to use, it's simple to install. It's very tolerant of unusual wall openings as well. Sometimes you get into a situation where the wall rough opening is not compatible with a standard access panel, and it's difficult to change that sometimes. Well, Cendrex has worked to help resolve that, or at least give you a lot of flexibility. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to open up the box here. I'm going to remove the components, get rid of our box, and get ourselves ready for demonstration. So what I've got on my desktop here is the access panel. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. So here we are. There's your access panel. This is a 6. The part number they're giving is 6 by 7.5 inch. Okay. And I'll explain that in a moment. We're going to go over that. This is what the front side of it looks like. And here is what the typical back side of it looks like. Looks pretty complicated for an access panel. Truth is, it's not at all. We're going to go over that right now in a moment. So, first of all, this access panel, the CTA series, is available in 5 different sizes. Not a lot of options with this. This is a very general purpose sort of access panel that is a little higher performance, but let's go over it. It's available in 5 different sizes. Okay, it's available in only 2 lock options. There are no other options for the CTA. It makes it pretty simple. You can either get the screwdriver cam lock with this, or more typically, the one that you don't. Well, that brings me to the next reason why this is a very neat, unique access panel. This door does not feature the lock option, and yet it's in place. Well, what's neat about this is that it's held on with magnets. Okay, you can just pull that off, and I've got the safety straps installed. Magnet, 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 magnet. Obviously that's a steel face unit, and that's your installation. It's really simple. I'm going to pull the door off. I'm going to pull the safety retainers off, which were just those 2 red rubber hooks that lock into the door, so that in the future when you're actually operating it, you don't lose the panel and it falls to the ground. Now, the real magic of this unit is the adjustability of the mounting structure. It does look complicated, but it's really not. The bottom line is this. You've got the pieces of corrosion-resistant metal. Okay, you've got the plastic corners. You've got slots in these pieces. You can take this and get it to slide up and over into the first slot, the second slot, or the third slot. You've got that same adjustment there, here, here, and on the 4th side as well. What that allows you to be able to do, and this is where we look at the installation instructions to help judge what we're working on, it allows you to work with different rough opening sizes. So, installation instructions are included with this, and if you would kindly refer to them. Step 1. We'll go through step 1, then we'll talk about the rough openings. Refer to table 1 to identify your product as well as its various dimensions. Now, what they're saying here in table 1, you've got your 6 by 7.5. That's the model we are demonstrating here. And then those 5 other models that I mentioned, if you'll study what the 6 by 7.5 looks like with its single tabs here, you'll take note that it matches what it looks like in the installation instructions. So what they're saying is identify which size you have. The truth of the matter is you'll already know it. But once you know it, you can read across through that table. Moving on in step 1, existing opening, refer to table 1 to adjust the height and width of the opening as required. You're going to slide these in and out to get to the point where you are obtaining the rough opening size as called out in columns A, B, C, D, and E. So the structure of the part number 6 to 7.5 is called out. A column is 6 in terms of a rough opening all the way to the E column for 7.5. And that same logic goes for the rest of them. So in 3/8 of an inch increments, if you're looking at table 1 still, you can do a 6-inch rough opening, 6 3/8, 6 3/4, 7 1/8, 7 1/2 inch. This single panel will handle any of those sizes. So hopefully you're going to be in that range. Now for that, you're going to have an overall door size of 9 3/4 by 9 3/4. Okay? And that same sort of logic will apply to the balance of what you're working on. This is 6 minimum, 9 3/4 overall. You can judge the relationship from there. Non-standard opening, refer to table 1 to identify both types of frames included in the contents of your package and adjust them. Again, basically fit this to work your rough opening size. Note, the opening should be located a minimum of 2 inch from an adjacent wall. And that's where they're saying your opening, let's say it's 6 inch, you need to have it at least 2 inch over because of the fact that this panel is larger. Okay, at least 2 inch. It was 3 3/4 larger than the 6, so double that would be 2 of that would be double 2 inch would be 4 inch, and you can see where the relationship falls into place. Moving on to step 2, and quite frankly, this is in 3 different languages. Cendrex is a Canadian company, and specifically Montreal, so there will be French. For sure there's going to be for that application, along with Spanish. Now, anyway, that's why that's what I'm trying to say is that's why the installation instruction looks so huge. If it was only in English, it would really only occupy about this much of a single piece of paper. Step 2, refer to table 3 to position your frames and corners around, or pardon me, according to the size of the opening. That we've already discussed, but it's going to be made much clearer here. If your rough opening is the 6 inch minimum, tabs will look like they do up here. So right now, the way that this model on this end is shown, the tabs are all the way to the outside. That is going to show you the E row. That's your maximum, 1.5 inches. So it'd be 7.5 inch. So the rough opening for this item, that when I took it out of the box, was already set to 7.5 inch, which is the maximum. And that's just a pictogram in terms of what yours needs to look like compared to the minimum. 6 3/8, 6 3/4, etc. Step 3 is the safety cable installation. My unit from the factory already came with them sticking in. 2 rubber safety cables here and here. I would position them towards the bottom, is how I would do it, so that when I took the door out, it would come this way rather than me have to hold it up. Now, time to get the structure attached to the wall, and that's going to be in step 5. But first, you'll have to take note if there's a lock option for a -35 unit, which would be the lock version. Refer to table 4 to position the adjustable lock mechanism according to the height of your frame. Because the structure telescopes smaller, bigger, okay, that lock needs to communicate with the back of the door properly, and you possibly will have to relocate that. Step 5, frame installation. Insert the frame into the opening. Fold the tabs on all sides. If you have a solid structure, screw the tabs where necessary. If there is an obstacle, bend one or more of the tabs as necessary. So the bottom line is this. You will stick it into the wall and you will literally take these tabs and bend them over. This is a unit going to a client, so I'm not going to bend them over, but you'll be able to take these and bend them literally over your sheetrock wall, and you'll be able to attach it directly through the end. Okay, as it's shown in the number 5 row. So you've got getting it into the wall, bending your tabs over, attaching it with your screws, okay, and finishing it off here. That's how that's going to work. Very simple. Once you have your rough opening, you need nothing but a screwdriver really to install this, is what it seems. You'll bend your tabs over. Then at that point, you will have your structure ready to go. This is installed. You will connect the safety cables to the back inside of the door, and that's going to look like this. I'll just get it installed and then I'll show it to you. Right through the keyhole there. Okay. And it'll hang so that you don't lose the door. Keep in mind, we had those magnets. So after you get the door installed, you're going to push that up onto the structure, and your installation is done, complete. There's a little triangle in one corner. That's the area that you can grab behind with a screwdriver or maybe with your nail and get that door pulled off the opening. Okay. Now, looking at the balance of the installation instructions, after you get the door safety cables attached, the door closed, just a couple of important notes. The plastic corners, which contain a magnet, can interfere with electronic equipment if placed too close. Magnetic field is about 3 inches around that magnet, those 4 magnets. Another note, it is recommended that the surface of the door be lightly sanded and cleaned prior to painting or installing wallpaper. This door is very clean from the factory. Nonetheless, it should be lightly sanded before you paint it. Okay? That's almost a finished paint, but the truth of the matter is it would be very unusual for this white to be exactly what you want. Or maybe it is. To open the door, insert your fingernail or a small flat screwdriver into the corner identified by the triangle as shown that we discussed. 1-year warranty. CTA by Cendrex, really a unique sort of design. Quite frankly, it's not very expensive whatsoever, especially when you consider its ability to tolerate a different range of rough openings. Okay. Now, there's really no reason that you'll have rough openings that will fluctuate or have a problem with getting rough openings correct, but selling access panels, I get that call frequently. My rough opening isn't 6 3/8 by 6 3/8, it's something else. 7 by 7, what do you have? Well, a custom door, how about that? Well, how long? Well, it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, double the cost. Well, ready to ship now, ready to go, ready to be made for that sort of opening, designed and engineered for that. I am partial to Cendrex in terms of them being a manufacturer of access panels. Here's why. Incredible amounts of inventory spread in strategically located warehouses in the country. Meaning, translation, you place the order, it's ready to ship quickly. That's number one. Number two, the manufacturing plant in Canada is incredibly capable and incredibly reliable at shipping odd things very much on time. Odd things in 5 days. Really odd items, odd combinations of options, 10 days. And that's pretty darn good. And every time that I've asked them for something like that, it has been spot on or earlier. I'm partial to them because their outside sales rep that I've had the opportunity to meet is incredibly passionate and knowledgeable about his product line. I have spoken to the technical support people, customer service people at the factory in Canada, equally as passionate, if not more so. The top of all of it is one of a member of ownership of the company who knows more about access panels than the next 10,000 people that know about access panels, knows his product line, is comfortable with it, knows what his company can do, knows what their strong parts are, and that's the market that he services. It's just an access panel. Let's just call it what it is. But the truth of the matter is, when you have such a comprehensive line that is so capable of solving practically every situation that you will encounter with an access panel, it ends up striking you as common sense that that's the access panel company that you want to work with. So, in closing, if you have any questions on the Cendrex CTA Adjustable General Purpose Access Panel or any other Cendrex product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.